Hello everyone, welcome to my channel My Big Fat Fabulous Life. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Just when My Big Fat Fabulous Life star Whitney Way Thor can't sink any more further, she surprises TLC fans by dropping the bar even more. Her recent treatment of her father Glenn Thor on a new episode of Season 11 has left fans disgusted. As a result, fans are questioning if there are any lines Whitney wouldn't cross if it meant making a quick buck. Per Reddit chatter, many fans of My Big Fat Fabulous Life found themselves going back to rewind and watch an interaction Whitney had with her father more than once. Did she really say what they thought she said? Once fans confirmed, the question shifted. Why did she say it? After making absolutely sure they heard her correctly, fans were in agreement that Whitney Way Thor called her father Glenn Thor gay. The question remained, why? Furthermore, many fans were quick to blast the fact that Whitney Way Thor would use the word gay as an insult, as it was a widely offensive thing to do. After many fans asked why, several other fans explained. Whitney Way Thor was commenting on her father enjoying the company of Ravi, the owner of the restaurant. Fans, however, thought it was gross that Whitney would imply her father couldn't have friends. Here's what some frustrated fans said about it. Pushing her father too hard? MBFFL fans argue that Whitney Way Thor needs to stop pressuring her father to grieve the loss of his wife in the way that she thinks is best. After all, everyone grieves loss differently. Fans speculate Whitney is just putting pressure on her father for the sake of the show, and they aren't happy about the way she's using her father as a story arc for the TLC series during this heartbreaking time in his life. Do you think Glenn Thor wanted to grieve the death of his wife in such a public manner on television? Furthermore, do you believe Whitney Way Thor is treating him poorly as of late? Share your thoughts in the comments, and keep coming back for more TLC news. For fans of My Big Fat Fabulous Life, the latest controversy surrounding Whitney Thor hit close to home, shaking the foundation of their admiration for the reality star. As whispers of betrayal and greed began to circulate, fans found themselves grappling with a harsh truth: their idol may not be the person they thought she was. At the heart of the scandal was Whitney's treatment of her father, a man who had stood by her side through thick and thin, only to be cast aside when his financial resources became a point of contention. For fans who had looked to Whitney as a beacon of authenticity and integrity, the revelation was nothing short of heartbreaking. Chapter 2. A Daughter's Duty. From a young age, Whitney had been raised to believe that family came first, that blood was thicker than water and loyalty paramount. But as she rose to fame and fortune, the lines between duty and self-interest began to blur, leaving her torn between her obligations to her family and the temptations of wealth and celebrity. For Whitney, the pressure to provide for her loved ones weighed heavily on her shoulders, driving her to make decisions that would ultimately come back to haunt her. But as the saying goes, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and Whitney's journey was no exception. Chapter 3. The Breaking Point. The breaking point came when Whitney's father found himself in financial distress, his mounting debts threatening to swallow him whole. Desperate for a solution, he turned to his daughter for help, hoping that she would come to his aid in his time of need. But instead of offering a helping hand, Whitney turned her back on her father, choosing to prioritize her own interests over his well-being. For fans who had watched Whitney's rise to fame with bated breath, the betrayal was a bitter pill to swallow, a stark reminder of the price of success in a world where money ruled supreme. Chapter 4. The Fallout. As news of Whitney's treatment of her father spread, fans took to social media to express their outrage and disgust, flooding her feed with messages of disappointment and condemnation. Many accused her of hypocrisy, of preaching love and acceptance while abandoning her own flesh and blood in his time of need. But for Whitney, the backlash was a wake-up call, a sobering reminder of the consequences of her actions. As she grappled with feelings of guilt and remorse, she couldn't help but wonder if she had sacrificed the most precious thing of all, her integrity, in pursuit of fame and fortune. Chapter 5. Redemption or Regret. As the dust began to settle, The question on everyone's mind was whether Whitney could ever redeem herself in the eyes of her fans, or if her betrayal of her father was a stain that could never be washed away. For some, forgiveness seemed impossible, the wounds of betrayal too deep to heal. But for others, there remained a glimmer of hope that redemption was still within reach. For Whitney, the road to redemption would be long and arduous, requiring a humility and introspection that she had never before been forced to confront. But if there was one thing she had learned from her fall from grace, it was that true integrity could never be bought or sold, no matter how tempting the offer. Chapter 6. Lessons Learned. As fans of My Big Fat Fabulous Life reflected on Whitney's betrayal of her father, they were reminded of the fragility of human relationships and the importance of staying true to one's values and beliefs. In a world where money could buy fame but not integrity, they were reminded to cherish the bonds of family and friendship that sustained them and to never lose sight of what truly mattered most. And as they continued to follow Whitney's journey, they knew that the road ahead would be fraught with challenges and temptations. But through it all, they remained hopeful that she would find her way back to the path of righteousness, and that her redemption would serve as a beacon of hope for all those who had lost their way in the pursuit of fame and fortune.